News Channel 8 presents New Skills for Living with your host, Tom Lavin, a healthy plan for healthy living.
Hello and welcome to New Skills for Living, a show dedicated to healing and wholeness in our community. If you love art and if you love Northern Nevada, you'll want to watch our show today. Today we're going to be talking about Vsa Arts of Nevada, who have been providing arts and giving us access to the arts for all of us since 1986. In 2004, the organization moved and renovated the historic Lake Mansion. For a relatively small organization, Vsa Arts does a lot with a very little. And we want to welcome our guest, Mary Ellen Horan, who is the executive director of Vsa Arts. Mary Ellen has done the show before, and it's really nice to have her back. She has been the executive director for 25 years after having moved to Reno in 1982. She received her MBA from UNR and appreciates all that our area has to offer. Mary Ellen, thank you so much for coming back to New Skills for Living.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much. I always like to tell people I started in high school with Vsa Arts. I wish that was
That's
the
right,
case.
just as a young person.
Because it's been 27 years that Vsa Arts was founded.
And just doing great work in our community. And of course, one of the areas where you really make a difference is in what you offer to our children. Let's start off there, Mary Ellen. Can you talk with us about what you offer to our children?
You know, the arts are important for everybody, but we feel like it's especially important for children, and especially for children who might have some special need that could be a mental, physical, or developmental disability. So that is our focus for Vsa Arts of Nevada, although we also provide a lot of programs for children and for adults that are open to the public. So really access to the arts for all, which is what our tagline is. One of our largest programs is having arts in special education classrooms and self-contained special education classrooms. So we do almost 1,000 workshops
oh my goodness.
In Washoe County School District and in Carson City School District. So each child will be able to see an artist 15 hours. Ideally, we'd like to do that program year-round, but funding and budget, we're able to do about 15 hours in each of those classrooms. So we're in 34 different schools and in 60 different special education classrooms, first grade through 12th grade.
Oh my gosh, that's a tremendous amount of organization and energy to show up for the kids. Now, Mary Ellen, what more would you like to let us know about this program for our children?
Right. Well, we always need funding. That's going to be with all the cuts that are happening, both at the national, state, and even local level as well. We always are in need of volunteers and always in need of funding. But you know, the classroom teachers share with us that when the artists come in, how it has made a huge difference in the lives of the students. It doesn't seem like it would, 15 hours, once a week for 15 weeks wouldn't make that much of a difference. But as far as self-esteem, self-confidence, and teaching the arts, teaching all the academic skills, English, math, all of the academics through the arts, because what do kids really enjoy are the arts. And everybody doesn't learn the same, but you can have kids learn in so many different ways by using the arts. And that could be creative movement or music or visual art or theater too. Those are the three main areas that Vsa Arts covers.
That is so important. It's being shown over and over again that art really taps into the creativity and ultimately the productivity of the child as well.
Exactly right.
Who teaches the courses, Mary Ellen?
We have a core group of 10 to 15 artists that we hire, and we do pay the artist. It's not a volunteer assignment. We pay the artist, and they go in first to the classroom and work with the classroom teacher and see what they're teaching and how our program can help with their skills that they're trying to teach. We are in CLS classes, which are community living skill classes, and SIP classes, which is social intervention programs, and in classes for the children who are autistic. So they go in, find out what's going on in the classroom, what the behavioral plan is in the classroom, and then they work very closely with the classroom teacher. And we've also found that it's not only great for the kids, but also for the teacher, because a lot of the evaluations that we get back, wow, I didn't know my students were so creative. Wow, I didn't know they could do this. And that makes such a huge difference. So it's not only that one time or the 15 times that they are in the classroom, but hopefully those skills will carry throughout the whole teacher's career as well.
Mary Ellen, in this, we have about a half a minute. I'm wondering, you've been doing this so long with our children as they've moved through the school system.
Right.
Have you heard from some of the older children? Have they ever gotten back to you and mentioned to you what it was like for them to have art in their classroom?
Well, actually, one of our board members, she has an adult son now, and when he was 11 years old, he was in the class for Vsa Arts of now, and she just said, you know, it's made a huge difference in his life that he continues to do art now.
Yeah, and that's the key thing, isn't it? That it makes a difference in the lives of our children.
Right.
Well, Mary Ellen, this has been wonderful to get this introduction from you. And right after this brief break, we're going to continue to talk about Vsa Arts and the difference they make in our community with all kinds of people, all kinds of ages. We'll see you in a minute. Hello and welcome back to New Skills for Living. You'll see up on your screen the website, easeap.com. You'll want to go to that website to watch Mary Ellen's interview in streaming video, as well as other guests that we've had dealing with depression and anxiety, like Dr. Stephen Hayes, Dr. Jacqueline Pistorello, Victoria Follett, Dr. Barbara Kohlenberg, all kinds of guests, over 30 shows in streaming video on that website. And then I also want to remind you of the newsletters that are available. If you go to the website, over 90 newsletters on dealing with stress and anxiety and having a healthy marriage, how to know when our children might be having problems. So these newsletters are there to you free of charge. But now let's go back and talk with Mary Ellen Horan about Vsa Arts and the tremendous difference that they make here in our community. Mary Ellen, can you maybe just start off this segment telling us about the open programs that Vsa Arts offers?
Right. So we not only do programs that are for special populations, but we also have a very large program that's open to the public. We try to make all of our workshops and our camps very affordable. But if people can't afford it, there's also 100% scholarships that individuals can get for either children or for adults. So we have programs at the Lake Mansion, which is on the corner of Court and Arlington Street, right across the street from the Great Basin Community Food Co-op and right up the street from the Truckee River as well. And then we also are at Alf Sorensen Community Center, and we're at 7 different public schools after-school programs.
I didn't know that. That's great.
So we really have expanded the program, and the reason is because we feel like there's a real need for it. So that's why we do all these different programs, especially when the kids get out on Wednesdays, early release Wednesdays during the traditional school year. We have different programs at different schools, Huntsberger, Huffaker, Van Gorder, Winnemucca, and a couple of other ones as well. Our major programs are at the Lake Mansion, and we have summer art camps, we have spring break art camp, winter break art camp. So we tie into what the traditional school year too. So the parents have a nice option rather than just having their child home for the week, that they can have them go to an art camp. And art camps are 1 hour of visual art, 1 hour of creative movement, music, and then 1 hour of theater.
Oh,
so it's really, the kids do not get bored at all. And for 5 days, it's only $95. So it really is affordable for everybody. And then in the afternoons in the summer, we have stuff like drawing and clay and paint the masters and several different programs. We also have a lot of programs for adults. A lot of people think we just do the open to the public for children, but we also have several programs for adults. Paint Your Pet is one of the more popular ones that we do, and plein air painting. And we just got some pottery wheels. So a new program that we're having is that for adults to learn how to do clay on the pottery wheel.
So again, a broad array of people, their lives are touched in a positive way. And some people, of course, pay full or partial tuition. There are some scholarships. Do you want to talk a little bit about how the community can support Vsa Arts to help those people that can't afford to pay their full tuition?
There's a lot of different ways. I mean, of course, we accept just plain old cash money donations, and people can go to our website, which is V as in Victor, S-A, Nevada spelt out.org, and make a donation there. They can also register online for classes as well. And then we also, like, we go to the community shopping day with Macy's. We have tickets for that. We have a yard sale during the summer where we work with the Connections group on the second Saturday of July. So we have a lot of different special events that we do. We're also always looking for volunteers, either for board or committee or to help guide tours of the Lake Mansion. So there's a lot of different opportunities that people can get involved with.
That's some great information, and right after this brief break, we're going to continue to take a look at the really big difference that VSA Arts makes in our community. Hello and welcome back to New Skills for Living. We're talking with Mary Ellen Horan of VSA Arts and the difference that they make in the lives of children and adults, and in fact our whole community here in Northern Nevada. So it was quite a community event in 2004, almost 10 years ago now,
right.
when the Lake Mansion was moved to that beautiful, right there on Arlington, right near the river. Mary Ellen, tell us about the move and about the Lake Mansion, and just please go from there. Huh?
We moved into the Lake Mansion was 1996. We moved in, and then the convention center wanted the land. They wanted the super block, so they asked both Liberty Bell and the Lake Mansion to move. And so we needed to raise the funds to move and then renovate it. On July 11th, 2004, we made the 3-mile move down Virginia Street. Took a couple little detours there, but it was a pretty big deal.
It was.
And it took 7 hours to move a little over 7 hours to move the mansion. And the community and the state and everybody just really pitched in, and the community really got behind it to make sure the move happened and then to renovate it. And we moved in 2005 at the beginning of, well, actually it was even October 2004. So we thought it was really important to move back in as soon as possible. And it sure is a beautiful site.
It's just gorgeous.
At first I thought, you got to be kidding. We do not want to spend the money and the time and the effort to move the mansion. But when all is said and done, it's just really has worked out very well for VSA Arts and for the community.
For the community, it's perfect. Right near the river there.
It is beautiful.
It's just so beautiful.
Right. And then the Great Basin Community Food Co-op just opened up. Well, it's been about a year. And then we are so close to the river. The Nevada Museum of Art is down the street. There's restaurants there. So it really has worked out very well.
And then if you talk about the whole setup, I mean, there's the beautiful mansion, and then there's like a patio and a veranda, and then there's another little side building. And I think the community really benefits from VSA Arts building and set up in a lot of ways. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So there's a historic main floor, and it's has furnishings that would be period furnishings from the 1890s, 1900s. And people have donated cast iron pots and a toaster and all these things. So it's see, hear, and touch the history of Reno, which we don't have that anyplace else. The Lake Mansion is it. And so we're very happy that we're able to show that to the community. So the mansion is open Monday through Friday and for special events. And then on the top floor is our administrative offices. On the lower level, we have an art classroom, which we call our Art Happens Here Art Studio. And that's where a lot of our workshops take place. And then adjacent to the Lake Mansion in 2008, we were able to build what we call our garden pavilion. So it's an enclosed, open, more modern area, and then there's a courtyard. And we work with the Historic Reno Preservation Society, and they bring over almost 1,000 fourth graders every year in different segments. And the kids have lunch on the courtyard, and then they come in and they learn about the Lake Mansion and the history of Reno. So it really works out really very well. The Lake Mansion is available for the public for weddings. We've had there memorial services. We've had there lots of different meetings. We've had there a prom took place in our little garden pavilion. So people can rent it very affordable, and they can bring in their own food and drink, which is a huge savings that they don't have to, pay for all that. So it's really worked out well and opened up to the community, throughout the year.
Oh yeah, I think any of us that have made that tour of the Lake Mansion feels very proud of our roots here in the Reno-Sparks area, and also of what the Lake Mansion is and what it represents. And again, the pavilion is a nice community resource, isn't it?
It's a great room, especially for meetings that people can have there. We have a pull-down screen that people can use, and then they can also use the surrounding porch from the Lake Mansion, and for weddings and things like that. People have taken pictures down on the river and then come up and had their ceremony and reception at the Lake Mansion.
Yes. So, Mary Ellen, at this time, is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about what goes on at the mansion? Or would you like to go ahead and show us the license plate and talk with us about what the license plate represents? Which way would you like to go?
Well, why don't we wait on the license plate?
Right, wait on that, okay.
But the other thing that we have at the Lake Mansion, which I discussed a little bit earlier, was a lot of different workshops.
Yes.
So one of the things that we have is, what we want to attract is having corporations come in and do team building.
Yes.
We had a large corporation comes in, and they all did an art project, and then they all did a group project that they were able to hang up a canvas on their wall. So that's another thing that we're just starting to get into, trying to attract more corporations to come in and do a group a project or individual projects. Plus get a little work in there too, but it's a great kind of a community building exercise that they can do.
And again, just like we were talking about with children in the arts, even with executives in the arts, it opens up a different way of communicating at a level that sometimes isn't accessed with just arms crossed and talking across the table. Huh?
Right. And you know, creativity, everybody says we need to be more creative in our thinking, and this is the way to do it. I mean, and it starts when kids are 1, 2 years old up to, 90 plus years old. So that's what really VSA Arts stresses, lifelong learning in the arts.
And from my tour of that lower level, I mean, that is a wonderful setting for either a small group of people or a large group of people to create some art and interact. So it's a really nice space, Mary Ellen.
Right.
We have about 15 or 20 seconds. What would you like to say in wrapping up this segment about the mansion and VSA?
Right. Well, it is a community gym to come on by. We have we have 3 different free arts festivals that which is open to kids, 8 art stations, face painting, tours of the Lake Mansion. So if people go onto our website, vsanevada.org, all that information is listed on there.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mary Ellen. So we'll be right with you for our last segment after this brief break. Hello and welcome back to New Skills for Living. You're looking at a very special license plate, Nevada Rich in Art. Mary Ellen, can you tell us about this license plate and what it represents and actually what it gives to our community?
Right. Back in 2000, I got a call from Nevada Arts Council, and they said, how would you like to work together in getting an art license plate for the state of Nevada? We worked through Vaughn Chowning, who was a legislator at the time at that point. And so we had an open competition for children's art to put on the license plate. We had 800 entries from all over Nevada, which was pretty exciting.
That's great.
It was a hard task for our judges to go through and pick a design that would work on a license plate and, really say Nevada. And it's one of the only plates, if not the only one, that has been designed by a child. Mostly, the other special plates have been designed nationally by professionals, graphic designers. This one is designed by a child, so that's pretty exciting. But the proceeds from this go directly to Nevada Arts Council and VSA Arts of Nevada for children's art programming. So every plate that's purchased, people can feel really good about it because they're not only saying that, hey, Nevada is rich in art, but the funding is going to help our many different programs.
Yeah, all those programs that you were telling us about earlier.
Exactly.
And then actually there were some programs that we didn't get around to talking about. Would you like to share those with us as well?
Well, we not only do programs, as we said, for children with special needs, but also adults. We have, like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, one in Reno at the Lake Mansion and the other one in Sparks on Thursdays for adults with developmental delays. So the adults can come in, they have about an hour-and-a-half workshop, and they do lots of different artwork. It could be paint, it could be drawing, it could be sculpture, mixed media. So it's really a highlight of the week for a lot of those individuals. There was a story that one man had 4 or 5 teeth removed that day, but he was going to make it to that workshop. I mean, and he did. And so, those highlights of the weeks are really important for everybody. We're also at Renowned Behavioral Services. We go in for 3 times a week. We have workshops for those individuals. And we are at several different nursing homes as well. So we just have a multitude of programs.
Yeah. Now, Renowned Behavioral Health, is that the Renowned Mental Health and Addiction Recovery Program?
Exactly.
And 3 times a week you're there working?
3 times a week we're in there conducting the workshops. And you know, they feel like it's a very valuable program that they help fund, and then we kick in the other half through fundraising to support that program as well.
Yes. And then, you know, your board has a wonderful reputation for being so dedicated and making this difference in our community. Do you want to talk a little bit about how they work? And
Right. You know, a board of directors are, I have to keep reminding myself, these people are volunteers.
Yes, yes.
And it's a huge commitment. And for every nonprofit board, I mean, we all need to give them kudos, because, boy, it can be a lot of work, especially like when we were moving the mansion and trying to raise funds for that. It's you know, they really have to be dedicated. So we have a real cross-section of people, from marketing to real estate to Washoe County School District administrators to just a you know, an arts advocate and a disability advocate. So those people are really the heart of the organization, along with all of our wonderful artists, our staff, and our volunteers.
Yes. Could you tell us a little bit more about your volunteers, Mary Ellen?
Right. There's lots of different opportunities if people want to get involved, from you know, giving us art supplies and in-kind donations, like Signature Landscaping does our landscaping as in-kind maintenance. So those types of things. But we also need volunteers to help with face painting when we do festivals, and tour guides, and just a lot of different opportunities. If people are interested, they can check out our website.
One of the things that I've heard from children, but also from adults that have taken classes with you, a lot of times we tend to look at professionals and we say, I can't do art.
Right.
And what VSA Art has done is made the arts accessible to so many people, where they've gone down and they've accessed their creativity. And I would say that that's really the gift to the community, is that we have a chance to experience that we can create, and we can enjoy ourselves in doing that.
Right.
We have about a half a minute, Mary Ellen, and what would you like to say to the community that's been watching our show and is interested in this topic?
Well, you know, I think take the first step. With what you just said, I think it's hard to give that little first step of going to the website or calling, or do it. I mean, because we're very agreeable.
Yes, VSA Arts is very agreeable. We want to thank Mary Ellen Horan and VSA Arts for the gigantic difference they make in our community. We'll see you next month. Take good care of yourself.